Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is June 10th, 2021. It's Thursday afternoon when I'm filming this, and it is my 8th floss tube. I persevered, I stuck with it. I wasn't gonna I was hemming and hawing, but I reached 203 subscribers. For a few days there I had 204, but apparently somebody decided I wasn't their cup of tea. But I've got 203 subscribers, which means I'm going to do a giveaway. So I thought about what I wanted to give away. And I think it's going to be a $20 gift card to 123 Stitch. Online store is easier for me because I can purchase it online. You can use it online. But I will do all the criteria, the question, the whatever at the end. Okay. So, it has been 2 weeks. What a 2 weeks. I guess I'll just get in to my whips and then I'll show my finish. And I will talk about life plans and then giveaway stuff. Okay, so my first whip was my focus piece. And that is Oh Christmas Tree by Lavender and Lace. And also, I'm going to try to remember, we're doing front focus camera, front face, so I can see like when I hold stuff up, but then I have to remember to not look at myself. I have to look at the camera at you guys. So if I stray, sorry about that, but I wanted to be able to see that what I was showing you, I was actually showing you and not like the random bit next to it. All right, so I'm gonna flash the pattern. It's gigantic. Here it is. Where this fold line is, I've gotten the tree done, and you've seen that in other videos. But this time, I always forget something. Always, every time. I need something to put behind it. Just a second. I'll be right back. Okay. So, here in my mouth. I worked on the girl today, on her, or this past 2 weeks. I worked on her dress. It looks so good. Look at that. I am so happy. There's a lot of little details. There's like gold, there's like little green stuff here and little things around here, like a trim that I didn't add. I just got the red done because when I'm doing the gold in the ornaments in the tree is when I'll get out that gold, because it's that metallic-y DMC and it's not the greatest to work with. So I like to pull it out and then put it away for a really long time. The effect is always gorgeous. The working with it, not so much fun. And so then, if you saw my Instagram post, there's some of you who follow me on Instagram. I was like, oh, and now this, on Monday, I'm going to start with the tree and get back to the tree. I have been starting too many projects. Thanks, Flosstube. Used to be like, pick a big project, work on it till it was done, be done. And even while I was watching Flosstube but not making them, I was still like 2 or 3 projects, make them and be done. But I always feel like, that's so boring for people to watch and I gotta have more to show. And so I had too many projects, not enough project bags. And I was like, no, I have a certain number of project bags. And if I have too many projects in there, too many projects for my bags, then I need to finish one of those that's in the bag before I start. But then I was like just resorting to putting them in plastic page protectors. And that just seemed like an insult to the projects. And it's ridiculous. I have the vinyl. I have the whole bunch of, I bought on Amazon like 100 zippers in different colors and different lengths. So it's not, and I have, bookcases full of fabric. So I'm like, why am I refusing to make myself project bags? This is weird. So on Monday, I made a couple project bags for myself and my new projects instead of stitching on the little girl. And then it's like, and then I needed to finish the baby blankets that I had made for the refugee camps in Greece that I talked about earlier. I still had 2 that I hadn't quilted or bound. So I worked on those. And then yesterday I worked and ran around getting ready a bunch of stuff for the activity that we had, the service project where we all got together and we went through all our donations that we had collected from friends and family, got rid of things that weren't appropriate because certain things can be accepted, certain things can't, boxed those all up, whatever. So I was busy with that all day and all evening. And by the time we got home, I just wanted to sit on the couch and watch TV and not do anything. So we did. And so just this afternoon, I started cross stitching, but I didn't scratch stitch on this because I'd made myself a new patriotic project bag and I wanted a patriotic project to go in it because it's getting to be summertime, and that's how I traditionally have always stitched is, oh, it's Halloween time. I'm going to stitch on a Halloween project. Oh, it's Christmas time. I want to stitch on a Christmas project. Like, that's how I celebrate the season, is I work on cross-stitch projects for that season. I don't necessarily want them done for the holiday. It's just puts me in the holiday mood to stitch those things. But I do need to work on this because I got to take it with me in, as my daughter has a countdown. It's very soon. We leave July 16th, so like 5 weeks. I can get it done if I just do it. So anyway, there's that. So I will start again on that. Oh, I'll be honest. Probably not tomorrow because now I want to really get this project done that I started. But okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyhow, so that was my first whip. Then my Sunday stitch, I worked on it the first Sunday, realized I had made a big error. Well, knew I had made an error earlier, but thought I could fudge it and like work around it. And then realized that it was messing up stuff, so I had to pull things out. And it's just the natural thing. As soon as something has an issue, I was just like, eh. So the second Sunday, I didn't get it out at all. I stitched on another project instead that had no problems and didn't make me sad. But I will show you what happened. So this is my, his name is Jesus from Joyful Expressions, that I'm stitching on mystery linen from my mom in a neutral color with DMC floss. And it's very floppy. Okay, so I started here on the A&M where it's going to say I am. But this little whoop from the Jesus was in the way. I had counted too far. And I knew that when I was working on Son of God because it wasn't lining up. But I thought, it'll be fine. Well, it's not fine because it was in the way. So I had to rip out some of it. I'm stitching this, and then I'm going to have to figure out how to get that swoop in. I may end up having to rip out a whole bunch of this, which does not thrill me very much at all. But I want it to look the way it's supposed to look, so I will do it. I just didn't want to mess with it last Sunday. So I didn't. Instead, I worked on my Jane Eyre sampler. This is a free sampler on the Little Stitchers blog. Laura Remola. Super cute. And it's like her version of what Jane Eyre would have stitched as a young girl in England at the time when they made marking samplers and practiced their stitching as a way to get a job later. She charted it in all very, very prim browns, tans, black. I am changing it. Jane Eyre loved bright colors, she was always drawn to them. In the book, she's constantly talking about bright insects and beautiful flowers and other things. She was drawn to those colors as an artist. So I have completely changed up a lot of the colors. So this is my Jane Eyre sampler. And I am using several different colors from Classic Colorworks. And then I wanted this right here is one of the actual called for colors. And then I was going to do this next border also on one of the called for colors, more demure, but I couldn't bring myself to. I wanted purple. Purple is my favorite color. Purple is my jam. It is the greatest color. Teal and purple. When I was in high school, I wanted to paint my room. Now this is the 80s. I wanted to paint my room teal on top, purple on the bottom, with a white chair whale around the middle. And I mean like a deep, rich purple, like eggplant purple. And my mom was like, honey, that's too dark. You're going to hate it. I still dream about how wonderful that room would have been had she let me do what I wanted. And if we ever, like this is an apartment, if we ever own a house, yeah, a small, modest home, like an apartment in our town in Switzerland. They start at $2 million for an apartment, people. We're not talking a house. If we want a house, yeah, like $3 million, but it'll be run down and we have to tear it down and rebuild. Yeah. But anyway, in Dreamland, where we own a house, my craft room's going to be teal on top and deep purple on the bottom. Yeah, baby. Anyway, so I added some purple, and my daughter helped me. I pulled out a bunch of DMC purples, and we kind of held them up to the other colors and picked the one that was that blended the best, that wasn't too bright or too garish. So that's my Jane Eyre sampler. I did all this and this and this and this. And I'm really happy with it. So once this border is done, then I'm doing like the little school and the tree and the houses, and then I've got the border. So I'm making good progress on that. And it is this is not a new project bag, but it is a new project bag. It's new to the Jane Eyre project because it was in a plastic protector. So it's got this cute measuring tape fabric, and that's what's on the back as well that I made myself. So there's that. It's in its happy home. Then I worked on, and I did this so fast in one day, it never had time to be in the new patriotic project bag that I made, which I will show you in a second. But it's what inspired it. I'm like, I have a few things. I have that tiered tray. And back in spring, I made a whole bunch of Easter little pillows to go on the tiered tray. And I've realized I was kind of in a quandary because, again, I mentioned this before. We're American. We're Swiss. My husband is also Canadian. He has Canadian citizenship. So we celebrate Canada Day on July 1st, America on July 4th, Switzerland on August 1st. So when I decorate for summer, I have to give all three. Fortunately, all the colors are red and white with a splash of blue. I mean, Switzerland and Canada don't have blue, but you know what I mean. They're red and white. So that it kind of all coordinates and doesn't clash. But I always have a hard time. But I've decided I'm going to have one layer of the tiered tray is going to be America. The second layer can be Canada. The bottom layer can be Switzerland. And we'll call it good. So I needed some little small things. I have never cross-stitched anything July 4th. I have other July 4th decorations, one of which I will show you, but I've never done any cross stitch. So I decided to make up a couple smalls. And this was the first one. It's a free pattern. And now that I'm got it here, I don't know who I got this by. I will put it in the description box below, in the show notes, or yeah, whatever people call. It was super cute. Oh, Tiny Modernist. Yes, yes. Tiny Modernist. It will still be in the description box below, but that's who it is. Tiny Modernist stitched this up with the called for colors, just 2 colors on white fabric. But one of the changes I made is, you'll notice right here in the fireworks, I used DMC silver metallic thread mixed in with the called for red and blue to make it look a little more sparkly. Then I turned it into a little pillow. On the back, I don't have any really July 4th fabric. I have a few things, but nothing that I wanted for the pillow. So I found 2 charm packs. One was, two charm squares left over from a charm pack that I'd used before. And so I put them together, and I kind of liked that it was fun that the blue should have been polka dots and the red would traditionally be the stripes, but it's like opposite. I kind of thought that was fun. So I put those together and put that on the back. And then this trim, guys, you know, people give you gift bags and they have the handles. This was a handle from a gift bag the gift bag went in recycling, and I saved the handle because it was so pretty, and it's the perfect trim. I didn't have to twist it or make it or do anything. I just sewed it on there. So that's my first one. So then I realized that I wanted to be making some more. I have one Canadian small that I will show next video. Have a couple more. I want to do some American ones, and I got to find some Swiss ones. There's very little out there. I'm probably going to have to make my own, although I did find one on Etsy that I'm considering. I'll have to adjust it somehow. So then I went through my binder of free patterns, and I found this one it's designed by Erica Michaels. It was for Rainbow Gallery. They did several series for years. Few years back, like monthly series, little free designs, and it was like to showcase their fuzzy floss or their fancy floss or whatever stuff. And so it's this little Liberty pillow, and I am going to stitch it as or finish it as a star. So this is my little start that I just did half an hour ago. I just worked on it. Whoops, there we go. Worked on it for half an hour, watching Lady Robin's cross stitch, Flosstube. And I'm going, finish it in a star-shaped pillow. I bought clearly I don't have access to Rainbow Gallery fibers, But I went to the little shop that sells DMC floss for an arm and a leg by me. And I found this variegated floss, dark blue. It's 103. And I liked that for the outside of the star. And then for the Liberty writing in the middle, I got the metallic-y. Like I said, this stuff is not fun to work with. But man, I love it when it's finished. And then there's like a little heart. Up a red and white heart, so I'm just going to use DMC 321. Anyway, but that all lives in my new patriotic project bag. Now, I wanted a bag that would be both Swiss and American. And I have some Swiss fabric, which you will see here in the front. It's cute, right? Look, it's got little Edelweiss, little cows. It's red. So fun. Now, this bag is huge. It could fit like a Q-snap or something. I don't use that type of stuff. But the reason it's so huge is because I got it in my head to make a flag out of little scraps on the back. And I had a whole bunch. I have like a box of 2.5-inch squares cut from scraps. And so I dug through those and made a little flag. And so it ended up having to be this bag so that it looked right. I mean, I guess I could have cut it off here, but you guys, I just now saw this. This is upside down. The red's supposed to be at the... I'm going to have to take this whole dang bag apart because that is going to bug the crap out of me. Anyway, when I fix it, it'll be a cute American flag. Yeah. Anyhow, so that's going to hold all my patriotic Canadian, American, Swiss cross-stitch patterns in the future. That's funny. Okay, so while I was making that one, I also realized that I don't have a Halloween project bag, themed project bag, and I've made a few Halloween smalls last year as ornaments. I don't have an ornament like a Halloween tree, but I have these things at IKEA. They're like little metal white tea stands like this. Tea, Amy. I'm doing great today. That I hang like Christmas decorations on, and Valentine's. They like always stay in our entertainment center in the living room, and I can hang different stuff on them. And if I don't have anything hanging on them, they're just white and empty and boring. So I made some Halloween ornaments to put on there, and I want to make some more this year. And there's a few bigger Halloween projects. So I knew, plus there's some Thanksgiving ones. And to me, Halloween, Thanksgiving, that's all fall. So I made myself a Halloween project bag. Also, again, kind of big, but that's because some of the project, I know one of the future projects I'm using, it's like this haunted Halloween house, and you use plastic canvas. It's like layered. It's out of a Leisure Arts magazine. It's layered so that the front of it is the house, like the shutters on it and stuff. They're like 3D. Super cute. But the plastic canvas is kind of big. So I made this bag big enough to hold it. So on the back is this fabric. And then in the inside, I'll take out what's in there. On the inside is the little, whoa, that glare. There we go. Inside is the little ghosties and pumpkins with the black, white polka dot. So that's my thing. And in there right now lives a project that I'm working on. I've made, these are from Lindy Stitches. She is awesome. Stephanie Webb is her name. And she is a website designer. She also has a Flosstube, which she has the quirkiest sense of humor, and I totally love it. It's like I just love her sense of humor, and I laugh and laugh and laugh when I watch it. So I made Prince of Pies. It's in my drawer waiting to get finished. And the other two are Count of Candy and Lord of Gourds. So I have all the stuff. I have the floss and I have the fabric that I'm going to use for that. Again, this is like I didn't realize how much of this I have done. I forgot. It's been in here for so long. It's almost done. Look at this. There's Lord of Gourds. Isn't that fun? So like Count Candy is kind of Halloween-y, but the other one is, this one is, fall. Fall Thanksgiving. So those are going to also be 3 pillows to go in my tiered tray. But oh my gosh, that is a fun surprise. Here I thought I was going to have to start that. Another one that I want to do is the this is Thankful, free pattern from Stitching with the Housewives, Priscilla and Chelsea. So those are going to be future projects, but the project bag is new. All right. Then I want to show you another previous finish, which also has a boo-boo on it. Well, not a boo-boo, but like an owie. And I noticed it when I got it out for our Memorial Day celebrations. There was like a little rip. So you'll see a needle in here where I'm resewing on the binding after I fixed it. But this is a quilt I made several years ago. The idea was I was going to hang it on the wall. I bought a special curtain hanger with little hooks so I could make all these fun wall quilts and just change them out seasonally, hang up the rod, and then change out the quilts really easy with the clips. Well, my husband flipped his freaking lid and was like, he has this thing about drilling holes in the wall. I'm like, but we have to hang up stuff. I want to live here. Every time I hang something, another hole in the wall. I'm like, when we leave this apartment, we've lived here so long, Swiss law, if you've lived in an apartment for 15 years, when you leave, they have to completely remodel the apartment so that it's nice and new for the next person who moves in. At no charge to you. You've moved on. We could actually demand that they come in and recarpet and repaint because we've lived here now for almost 17 years. But we think that they would then be able to perhaps raise the rent. We don't want to deal with that, so we're just living with gross carpet and sad looking paint. But I'm like, I could bang up this entire apartment, and when we leave, they have to basically gut it, repaint, restucco, all new carpet, all new wood floors, all new cupboards in the kitchen, all new appliances. So like, I don't care, but he really cared. So then it became, I've just taken it to the park when we've gone to celebrate July 4th with friends and used it as kind of a picnic blanket. So it's needed to get washed a few times, and it's not holding up so well to that because it wasn't sewn to be a picnic quilt. It's not ruined or anything. I think in future years, I am just going to tack it to the wall somehow as decoration. But anyway, let me show you it. Now, I saw this on a Pinterest search. There was no pattern. I just made up my own pattern by looking at the finished quilt. I don't know how people feel about that, but like if your quilt pattern is so simple that I can pretty much copy it just by looking at a picture. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna buy your pattern. I'm not gonna sell my quilt that I made, and I'm not gonna make my own pattern and try to sell that. That's not cool. But for me to make my own personal quilt in my home off of your picture, yeah, I'm gonna do that. All right, so here it is. this is my flag quilt. And up here where this needle is, the binding kind of came loose from the edge, like it wasn't quite, got it too close to the edge. So I put some fray check on there, and now I'm hand sewing that closed again. But there it is. And the back is just that. But I really had fun with this quilt. It was fun to make. Yeah. So that's my big July 4th blanket quilt thing. I do have a pattern that I bought to make a Canada Day quilt. And I have made for a friend a Swiss quilt, Swiss flag. Well, it was like a whole bunch of little pluses. And I'd like to make a mini version of that as well for here. But again, because I don't have that thing to hang them up, someday I think I'm just going to... Well, the problem is he works from home. So I can't just like sneak in and drill holes when he's not looking, because he's always here. He'll hear the drill and come running down. But anyway, those are my plans for that, for the future sometime. We have a Canadian flag. We have a real American flag. We have a real Swiss flag that we hang out on the balcony. But for in the house, I just think it would be kind of fun to have a big one. Anyway, okay, so there's that. Future plans. So my future plans, again, are to finish this, Liberty Star, turn that into a pillow. On Sunday, fix that mess, and work on this tree, because that needs, Jane Eyre needs to wait. She got a lot done. I need to get back to the tree. The other thing I need to do is I promised my daughter Sarah a quilt, that I would bring her a quilt. Now she has two quilts already from me, but she requested a third. First, she wanted it to be a weighted blanket, and I was going to turn it into a weighted blanket, but then I found one on sale, a weighted blanket at Walmart for her, like a Black Friday sale or something. So we ordered that for her. She has that already, but she wants she's in college now. And the quilt she has is kind of a little girly. Although this fabric is also a little girly, but she really loves it. So I have made a whole bunch of 9 patches. Let me see if I can hold this up so you can, without the sun coming through. Whole bunch of 9 patches with material that she chose. And I'm going to be doing a variation of the Disappearing 9 patch from Missouri Star Quilt Company. Jenny Doan taught me how to quilt. Okay, my friend Tanya and my friend Tyrion also taught me how to quilt. But Jenny Doan really got me super excited about quilting and made it a lot scary. So her Disappearing 9 patch, but combined with then some layer cakes that I will then put a border around so they end up being the same size as this Disappearing 9 patch block. I made the same style quilt for my son using pirate fabric. He still has it on his bed. He absolutely loves it. I also made him a Star Wars paper piece quilt that I will try to get pictures of when I go visit him in America. It's on his bed now. That quilt is the thing that I am most proud of, because I remember seeing it on Pinterest and going from Quiet Play, Christy from Quiet Play, she's in Australia. She designed this quilt for her son. She contacted Lego, got permission to give away the free patterns, the paper pieced patterns on her blog, but you can't sell the quilt. She can't get money for the patterns, because otherwise she breaks the licensing agreement with Lego and Star Wars. But they allowed her to make them public. And I saw that quilt and was like, right when I first started quilting, and I was like, oh my gosh, wouldn't that be awesome if one day I could learn how to pattern, paper piece and make that quilt. And a few years later, I felt comfortable enough to try it. And I did it. And then not only did I sew it, but then I had to use like fabric markers and draw on the little faces. And I'm not an artist, but it looks so good. And so many people who've seen it are like, ah, I will pay you to make me that quilt. And I'm like, one, I can't. I don't want to make her have to remove those patterns because somebody found out that I was selling quilts. That's not fair to anybody else. So I'm no. And two, even if I could charge you money, it took hours and 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 hours to make that quilt. First, you got to print out all the patterns. Then, because their patterns come printed on paper that you sew the fabric directly to the paper, I had to color in the patterns with colored pencils so that I knew when I was sewing which color of fabric went where. Because like in Darth Vader and C-3PO, there's like, 4 different shades of yellow or 4 different shades of black and gray. Or Chewbacca, there was like 5 different shades of brown. So I had to know which shade where was going to go where, and I had to figure that out before I started sewing. So there's all the coloring that I had to do. Then choosing all the fabrics. I don't know how many different fabric stores I went to, which was saying something. And I've been to find all the different shades of brown. I didn't find as many as I wanted, but I found enough. And going through scraps and like begging people, friends who quilted, to borrow brown scraps to get enough. Anyhow, so, and then just the sewing of it, which each block probably took 3 hours to sew. But then you gotta rip all that paper off the back so you can sew it to the next block. So seriously, hours of work. I said to one friend, if I could charge you money, it would be like $5,000. And that's not even an exaggeration. That's how much I would charge. Because that's how many hours it took to make that quilt. But if I really, really love you, I might. And I have plans to make a couple more because there's some pretty awesome people in my family who are really into Star Wars and who I really love, that I would like to make that quilt for again. So I've been collecting like fat quarters of lots of different shades of brown and green and black and gray, and we'll yeah, eventually someday. But anyway, I would love to show that quilt when I make a Flosstube in the States. I am going to try to film while we're on vacation. So those are my plans. Oh, other things, personal life. Voting is on Sunday, and I did not fill out my voting papers ahead of time enough to mail them back for free. So I will have to just go drop them off at the City Hall. We live in a village of 2,000 people, but drop them off at the village hall. But that's fine. I can do that directly on either Saturday or Sunday. Voting is Sunday, but I can, as long as I get it in the mailbox before voting starts on Sunday, I just can drop it in and walk away. So I got to do that. We're voting on several kind of big things like the use of pesticides and another more gas tax, and like, here's something. So in Switzerland, in other European countries too, but Switzerland, you get, it's called Kindergeld. It's money for having children. Now, I believe it started in Germany, at least, like after one of the world wars, to try to get people to have more children because, yes, times were desperate and there was no food and you were living in the forest. But if we don't start having children and recouping our, repopulating the country, this is going to be bad because so many people died in the war. And so as an incentive, the government gives you a monthly stipend or just like bonus. It's really just a bonus for each kid that you have until they reach 18, or if they are still going full-time to school and you can prove that, like if they're in university and you're supporting them, then you still get the Kindergeld. So we still get the Kindergeld for all 5 kids. And I think it's $200 a month per kid. And there's like a vote because some people want to raise it and other people are against it. Of course I'm going to vote to raise it. But anyway, so that's, I got to do that on Sunday. And, yeah, my daughter is fine. She hasn't had any more reactions. We can't get her an EpiPen. We haven't actually really been able to talk to her, but we know she's alive because she's talked to our other kids who are doing great, that are there. No hikes. It started to get warm again. It's no fun to hike when it's sunny. We like it when it's misty and a little rainy and cold. So we haven't done much hiking. We've worked in the garden. We've worked in our friend's garden. We're going to go again tomorrow. Not really. We planted one blueberry bush because the other one died without ever giving us any blueberries. So we pulled it out and planted a new one. Did a bunch of weeding. We're going to do some more weeding. That's pretty much all it is right now. Making sure stuff gets watered. Although it's been raining pretty regularly. It's just hot when it's not raining. Muggy. And I don't like that. So we're going to go do some weeding tomorrow. And yeah, that's that. So, okay. Giveaway. Here's how it's going to work. I am going to ask you to use the word democracy. There we go, because I'm voting this weekend. Democracy in a sentence. You have to be 18 so I can get your information. You need to be a subscriber. So please, if you're watching and you have not subscribed, please like the video and subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, but it helps me and it makes me feel like, oh, people are actually watching. I'm not just talking to the air. So you have to be 18, be a subscriber, leave a comment that uses the word democracy, and don't say giveaway. And then I will, just before filming my next video, so you've got 2 weeks. You've got until, hold on, let me check the calendar. June 23rd. Submit a comment by June 23rd. And then I will do random comment generator and choose a comment from all, from all those comments and announce the winner in my next video in 2 weeks. And they will receive a $20 gift card to 123 Stitch for anything you want. Thank you for those who have subscribed. It made me so happy to see that number climb every little bit. I love comments. Even if you're not interested in the giveaway, please leave a comment, ask any questions, anything you want to know about life in Switzerland or anything. Ask me and I will be happy to answer it. I can either answer it in the comments. I'll probably also address it in the videos. But yeah, that conversation, that's what I like. I like when people add stuff. And regarding the project tutorial video, I did watch Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch one with the vinyl. She does almost the exact same thing that I do. The only thing that's different is I make a binding like a quilt binding, and she folds over the back fabric. She cuts it bigger, folds over the back fabric and uses it, which is actually easier. So I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. Watch her video. She's got two, one with vinyl, one without. They are fantastic. The dimensions are a good sized bag. Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch on Flosstube. She's great. So just watch her. I don't need to make a new one. If you want any tips, you can ask me in the comments after you've watched her video if you have questions. But yeah, that's what I would do. And yeah, I guess that's it. Wow, I went on for 45 minutes. I can really talk sometimes. Sometimes I wish I had, like, I love watching those Flosstubes where there's give and take, cross-stitching cousins. They are so funny. Or, yeah, Pam and Steph and Priscilla and Chelsea, when they have somebody to feed off of. But, yeah, I don't have that. I asked my daughter how she would feel about coming and being a guest speaker, and she was like, she's 13, almost 14, and she's like, I don't even cross stitch, Mom. Why would I do that? And I'm like, because you're funny. She's like, she was not down for that. But maybe when I make one over the summer. She's usually at school when I'm filming. She doesn't get home on Thursdays until 6:15, something like that. So she's not here in the afternoon when I'm filming. But maybe in the future over the summer. Yeah. Okay. I guess that's it. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Don't forget to enter the giveaway, but don't say giveaway. And I hope you have a great 2 weeks. I'll see you later. Bye.